I gave up everything to win Jesus, the relationship, the closeness. And now I've had to give up everything again. A lot of people think, oh, it's easy being in here because you're in God's presence. You don't even understand. To be locked up in the same place for 4 years, 5 years, do you even understand what that means? Do you know how much of my life I'm giving up things that I could be doing? You understand? People don't even be in prison this long. You got to understand, I want to be locked up in here with God because I'm going after something deeper. Listen, some people come out of prayer too soon. That's why they can't get these supernatural things. Nothing is impossible with God. And when you stay and you soak in God's presence long enough, a real transformation begins to take place. I can't begin to tell you how much I'm changing on the inside out, from the inside out. I know a lot of people say, oh, he just seems the same. He still talks the same. You don't even understand the inner work that's going on in me that has been so deep and thorough. Oh, my God. And when I come out of here, God's glory is going to shine. Salt and light is going to be released upon the earth in a dimension that has never been seen. Not because of David, but because David has been close to God. He's connected with God on a level that I know none of the preachers in this generation has ever attained. Because it ain't cheap. You can't just throw up words. Well, I got it just like you ain't got nothing. If you ain't willing to pay the price, if you ain't willing to do this kind of stuff. Enoch stayed in his house and shut away with God for many, many years until an angel had to say, come out of your house now and go show yourself to man and minister. Some of these preachers, they are so ministry hungry and ambitious, they don't know how to leave their pulpit for 1 month, let alone 4 years. They are died spiritually because there is no real deep relationship with God. I'm trying to teach you that your secret closet is where God rewards you openly. A lot of people keep saying, how God keep rewarding you openly and coming out and showing himself with you? Because I'm in a secret place with him. I go into my secret closet and pray to him in secret, and he rewards me openly. How many saw his face over the tabernacle? That could not be a coincidence. It happens everywhere I'm going. But it wasn't cheap. This ain't cheap. Y'all see the persecution I go through online, on YouTube. They persecute me almost every day, saying wicked stuff. And there are people believing the stuff. Christians believing it. They won't even take time to get to know my ministry and know what's really happening. Even pastors. They're the biggest bunch of pussies I've ever seen. That's right, I said it. The biggest bunch of pussies. They are so weak. Any kind of persecution, they back away. They believe all they want is the praises of the people. So if you're going through persecution, that ain't praise from people, but you're getting honor from God. They love praises of men more than God. Honor that comes from God. Shame on you. God gonna get you for it. You wicked pastors, you're pussies. You're weak. You're weak to people. You're weak to popularity. You're weak to fame. You're weak to praises of people. You know I don't give a darn because I've stood in the burning light of the fire of him personally. And when you have that kind of power backing you, you don't fear nobody and nothing, not even death. That's why you're so afraid. And you a bunch of pussies because you are so much of a sucker for praise and attention from people. You care too much. You don't care about the right things. And this is why God got on the church in his day. All they wanted was praises from people. All they wanted was a platform, a big name. When it comes to persecution, none of these pastors in America want to go through persecution. But I wear persecution as my badge. I love it because it proves who I am. So while you ashamed to be associated with me because, oh, he go through so much persecution. You a punk. You a pussy. That's what you are. And I want this to go out in front of the whole world to millions, because I want you to understand. You know, one of the visitations I had from Jesus in 1992, he spoke to me and told me how upset he was with the pastors. This was in 1992 when I was 19 years old. He said to me how upset he was with them because of the same thing I'm talking about. They weak, spineless. They love the fame of men and praise it so much they're afraid to get their name dirty. Listen, Christ made himself of no reputation, because there's no way in the New Testament you're going to keep a good name. You can forget that. That Old Testament scripture, a good name is better than, yeah, but God has given us an opportunity to get something that a good name. And that's a great name. A name above other names. That's what Jesus gave up his reputation. And it says God has highly exalted him and given him a name what? Above other names. You will never get names above other people as long as you won't go through the door of persecution. Pastor, leader. You know how many people I have shunning me? Christians, because, oh, they love me, they love my ministry, but they don't want to associate with me publicly because of what everybody's saying. Oh, that's a cult. Oh, screw them. When are the Christians going to stand up against persecution in this generation and quit being suckers to the devil? You can't walk in Marvel powers like this in this kind of boldness, being a sucker. Quit being a sucker to the devil. Persecution is our badge. Persecution and being talked about is where we get our power from. It's where we get our honor from God from. Let them talk. Let the suckers talk. You're too weak to persecution. That's why a lot of you pastors, you need to hook up with an apostle, a true apostle, who don't care about the praises of men, who can go through persecution and go through anything. Go ahead, Joseph. What do you think about this? You and Pastor Adam.
Apostle, we need you in our life. We need a true apostle, like you said, in our life as pastors and leaders, because we see so much attack today, sir, on social media. Pastors getting knocked out left and right and not even know how to stand up and fight. I remember when you were in Africa and you were talking with one of the pastors there, pastors tens of millions, and he said he was watching you go through the persecution and learning from you, and because he too was going through some persecution, he was learning from you.
Yeah, that was Pastor Bashiri. How many heard of Prophet Bashiri? That was Prophet Bashiri. How many heard of Prophet Bashiri in Africa? He came to my hotel in Africa when I was there in Pretoria. And you know, he has 100,000 people a night in his arena crusades. Coliseums. And it's packed. And he came to my hotel and said, I've been watching you for years, because he's younger. He says, I see how they persecute you in America, but how you outsmart the media every time. You come out with a video. That's you darn straight. I come out with a video. That's right. I come back swinging hard. Because I'm not a sucker. Listen, I come from the street where I was a gangster. I don't know how to be a punk. I don't understand these people who come from the street and they come in God's house and know God has all power, and they are a pussy. They are a punk. It's something wrong with this church.